We've done it. It's here. I'm sitting here. You're sitting on my virtual left for me. Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Hitting Cage, brought to you by Makash Films and 88 Keys Management. I am Tristan Thornhill. Sitting to my immediate left, virtually, is the one, the only, Jack Glennon. Jack, how are you? It's been way too long, and we're officially here. I'm so happy to be back. How are you, buddy?
Look, I'm great, and I'm great to be doing here with you. I mean, I couldn't ask for a better partner and a better pal to be sitting here with, even if it is virtually and not at our old setting of the bottom Vandy Hall Tower. But
Yeah.
huge shout out to our friends at Makash Films for making this possible. I'm doing great, and I'm ready to roll. Tristan, what you got for us?
I can't explain to you how excited that me and Jack are. This is a brand new journey for both of us. Having somebody take us in, promote us all over the place, and all we get to do is sit on our butts, on our behinds, and talk about baseball. There's literally nothing better. I couldn't imagine a greater opportunity than this. And before we get started, I want to give a quick shout out to RG and Jason who make these things possible with 88 Keys and Makash. Go check out Makash Films on everything: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, especially their YouTube, where you can get a membership for $1.99 a month. You can unlock extra perks, like you can be in our live audience. You can get special discounts on merch, behind the scenes, anything you name it, we got it. Go and check out Makash Films on YouTube. Subscribe and think about that membership, only $1.99. But without further ado, I think it's time we get into this ball talk, Jack. Where do you want to start? It's been forever. Do you want to start college ball? We could talk about Omaha coming up, or do you want to jump straight into the pros? It's up to you, my friend.
Look, I think there's no better way to start than talking about the Atlanta Braves because, first of all, that's the regional team for the region that we practice
Yeah.
our profession in the state of Tennessee. Look, I mean, there's not a state in Tennessee, or there's not a team in Tennessee, pardon me. So a lot of people here are big followers of the Braves, and as you kind of get to talk to more and more people in this area, you hear more and more grumblings. It seems like they're blowing a lead every single day. They just got swept out west by the San Francisco Giants. They're now 0-10 this season against National League West opponents. That is a tough division, but you're 0-4 against the Padres, you're 0-3 against the Dodgers, you're 0-3 against the Giants. So if you can't show an ability to compete against these tough teams, against any sort of competitive team, sure, it's all fun and games when you're beating up on the Pittsburgh Pirates, when you're beating up on the Miami Marlins. Minnesota Twins, you win 2 out of 3. Who cares? If you can't beat the teams in the National League that you're going to be facing down the stretch of the season when you're trying to get into the playoffs, and in the playoffs, the Cardinals, the Giants, the Padres, the Dodgers, even the Diamondbacks. I mean, if you can't beat these teams, you're in big, big trouble. And I think they are in trouble.
There is a lot that to unpack with the Braves, especially given that they just went up against your Giants and got swept. And I think two of those games were come from behind victories for y'all, right?
Yes.
It's bad, and it genuinely, like, I have several Braves friends, and it's concerning that the talk has become is AA their general manager washed. We talked about this earlier with Toby in the season about how they don't have a farm system, and they don't have anybody up there right now to get excited about except for like Acuna. Austin Riley is declining because of his age.
Azuna.
Ozuna, what
He's
not
going to be
gonna
35 in the offseason.
Yeah,
He's going to
that's
be
what I'm
35.
saying.
I mean,
And you look at it, and now where do you place the blame? Sure, they're not healthy, but they're starting to get pieces back, and they're still we haven't seen that jump. So I'm having conversations about the Braves all the time, and it's really concerning that a team that has had how many freaking straight division titles, I can't even remember off the top of my head, it's some ridiculous amount, and just won a World Series in 2021. These same fans are having all these conversations and are sitting there and talking about, do we need to fire Brian Snicker? Like, that's alarming to me that we're even having that conversation when it pertains to the Braves. And I don't know what you do, man. Like, it's a cluster. It's a cluster, especially when someone like Matt Chapman is taking you to. And that's no disrespect to Matt Chapman and your Giants. Really isn't. But you should be able to get matchup. Iglesias has fallen off of a cliff for them. They don't have a closer. They don't have anybody that's that guy in the lineup anymore. That was Freddie Freeman, and he's been gone for 3 years now. Just won a championship. What do you do?
Look,
I'm asking. What do you do?
no, well, honestly, I wish I could tell you. I wish it was a one-step fix, but it's not, because you look at this lineup. You got Acuna, you got Ozzy Albies, you got Marcell Ozuna, you got Matt Olson, Sean Murphy. They have the quality players. Nick Allen, he's a solid shortstop. They got bench pieces, Drake Baldwin. So they have guys who can hit the ball. I don't think it's the offense that's the problem. If you look at it on paper, you look at the roster, the offense is pretty good. The pitching, not so much. Spencer Strider has bounced back terribly. I think he does not look very good. Chris Sale is still doing his thing, but that's all they got, really. I mean, Schwellenbach looks okay, but if he's your second best pitcher and he's throwing
I was about to say
low fours, high threes, you're in trouble. You're in big trouble. Your bullpen looks terrible. You're up a run with 2 outs in the ninth and a runner on first. Matt Chapman, like you said, solid player, but a 220 hitter, maybe 25 homers a year. He takes you deep in a pitcher's ballpark to walk you off. I mean, you just cannot allow that to happen. And it seems like not only is it happening once or twice a month, this thing is happening every game, it feels like. I mean, you talk to any Braves fan, they'll tell you the same thing over and over and over again. Yesterday, the Braves are up 3-1 on the Giants, and the Giants storm back to have a 3-run fourth inning, and the Braves don't score the rest of the way. They went the last 6 innings scoreless. They got dominated by Landon Roop, which makes no sense to even hear those words come out of my mouth. Ryan Walker pitched a scoreless inning, 2 strikeouts, 3 batters faced. Randy Rodriguez, 2 strikeouts, 3 batters faced. Doval, 2 strikeouts, 4 batters faced. So if you're the Atlanta Braves, the problem is everyone's getting up there and swinging for the fences. Okay, so if you're Brian Snitker, you need to make the adjustment and say, hey, get on base, hit a single, work a 7-pitch walk, find other ways to get on base. And their fielding has been atrocious as well. I mean, Albies had a game-costing error for them yesterday at second base. He kicks the ball off his glove. So there's a lot of problems for the Braves right now. And Tristan, that's why, to answer your question, there is no one-part answer. There's a lot of things that need to happen to fix the Atlanta Braves, because it's getting to be too late, even though we're only 64 games in for their schedule.
I don't know what to do. And you threw out a bunch of numbers and stats to me, and all you're telling me is that the Mets, I'm not going to say unfortunately, but the Mets have this division. And we had this talk. We had this talk with, I think it was like episode 12, when we brought all of our guys in. And we said, at least I said, I'm not counting the Braves out. But the Braves out, excuse me. I don't know what that was. I'm not counting the Braves out because they're the Braves. They own the Mets. The Braves are going to play the Mets here soon. I'll tell you this. If the Braves don't take 2 out of 3 from the Mets, it's over. I consider the season over for the Braves.
No,
I know it's early June, but do you see the hole they've dug for themselves? Not good. That's like, it's a very hard hole to climb out of. They're what? Let me get it up. Standings.
Tristan, I get it, but you look at these teams.
They are 14 games back, Jack.
I understand that, but you talk about the Detroit Tigers last season. Their season was over, was it not? I mean, this happens every year. Someone digs themselves a hole way too large for where they should be, and they end up going on a 29-6 run to end the year. And I'm not saying that the Braves are this year's team to do that. There may not be a team this year to do that, but to count them out with 98 games left, I think it's foolish.
Well,
they got the Brewers for 3 in Milwaukee.
I'm staring at. Okay, but we know how fluky the Brewers are. They're all over the freaking place.
Hear me out. Listen to this schedule they got coming up, okay?
I see the schedule.
Brewers for 3 coming up. That's a wild card team in the mix for the wild card. You could potentially make up some ground to get back into that last spot. You got the Rockies for 2 at home. Should be 2-0. If it's not, you got serious problems.
That's when the season's over.
Then you get some
division games. That's when the season's over.
But you have so many division games after that. Your next 10, your next 12 are divisional. That's what I'm
getting. That's what I'm getting at. I don't know if they take 2 out of 3. That Mets series, when it starts their stretch of divisional games, you don't take 2 out of 3 from there. What's the point of playing everybody else? It's not anybody else that you're competing for in that division. It's the Mets division.
But it may not be about the division. It could be about the wild card. You beat the Phillies, that's a big win if you get a wild card spot. So do you see the National League West right now?
They're making the same case for what the AL Central is doing right now. You could see three teams coming out.
I think they're better than the AL
NL
Central
West
right now. I think they're better than the AL Central right now. I think
Well,
the
yes,
NL West has.
I am just saying the Braves shouldn't be shoot. It's crazy to me that we're in a society where the Braves have to shoot for a wild card. And don't get me wrong, they won it all as a wild card team. But it's just crazy to me that that's the conversation we're having to have. The Braves should not be this far out of second place.
I don't disagree with you, but they are. So now they gotta make up some ground. They got 98 games left. If you can win 62 of them, you figure they're probably gonna have a shot to get in the playoffs with 89 wins.
You hope so.
And can the Atlanta Braves go 62 and 36 in their next 98? Absolutely they can. Absolutely.
I don't know. You
don't think so? What's holding you back? What's holding you back?
The fact that everybody who is a diehard Braves fan is selling tickets on the season, except for a couple people that I know. Everybody is saying that Mets series, if they don't win it, call it. And you had Mets fans saying the same thing last year, and then they went on their incredible run. So it's hard to tell. You know what? I'm not going to sit on it anymore. You know what? I'm going to get out of the middle. I usually, beeline the middle every time I talk about sports. I'm hopping on one side, and you call me out if I'm wrong.
You've never been on the middle one time.
Shut up. Here, I'm saying it now. The Braves are done. The season's over. It's dead. They're done.
Ridiculous.
There's no chance. Zero chance that the Braves even sniff the playoffs come September. They have not given me anything to tell me that I'm wrong other than a 467-foot home run for Ronald Acuna on the very first pitch he saw when he came back.
You're being ridiculous.
That's one guy. What else do they have? They have no pitching. They have nobody that could call up. They have nobody that could trade away for more more talent to bring into that lackluster bullpen. The diamond is just not. Michael Harris isn't hitting. All he's got is defense, and he can't even catch half the balls that some of them are going over the wall in the chop house.
Here's what they have.
Did you see the loss that they had? I cannot remember for the life of me who it was to, and that's very, very bad on my part.
The Diamondbacks. They gave up a 6-run lead in the ninth.
6-run. You want to tell me that same team still has a chance?
Yes.
No way in hell.
Absolutely.
No way in hell.
Well, I'll tell you why. Because it's baseball. Because it's baseball. Because it's baseball. Because it's baseball. Do you think
baseball is a thing of habit?
Do you think that the Detroit Tigers would have turned around their season like they did last year? Yes or no?
When Scooble figured out he was a demon, yes.
They were 10-12, but
there's no one else on the Braves.
That guy can only go out there every 5 games, okay? He can't play every night. He cannot
play
every night.
Yeah, but it wasn't just Scooble that they had, Jack. If they kept Flaherty, they might have beaten the Guardians. And then they'd be playing the Yankees in the ALCS last year, and then who knows what happened. But they gave Flaherty to the Dodgers, he performed, and guess where he is? He's back. They have a strong 1, 2, and 3, and you and I both know that's all you need for the playoffs.
Absolutely. You only need 3 guys. But are they going to make the playoffs? In my opinion, no. But is it foolish to say it's over? Absolutely it is. You can't say that Ronald Acuna, Marcell Ozuna, Michael Harris, Matt Olson, and Sean Murphy and Ozzie Albies can't go on a run. They absolutely can. But my problem with the Braves is, Tristan, is that they haven't shown us yet this year that they can at all. I can't remember one stretch of a week where they won 5 games. I really can't. They're 2-8 in their last 10. It seems like every week it's getting worse for this team. They've shown no ability, and I mean zero ability, to get hot. And the lineup, I mean, you look at all these names, you go, oh, they got these guys, they got Ozuna, they got Acuna, they got Murphy, they got Olson, they got Harris. And you think this lineup's producing 6 or 7 runs a game, but this team cannot score against the Giants this series. 3 runs, 2 runs, and then against the Diamondback series, 1 run, 2 runs. It's 3 runs. You can't live like this. You cannot continue to have poor pitching and have 0 hitting. And with a lineup like this, you got to take advantage.
You'll agree with me that the Giants have been a pleasant surprise to about everybody.
The most pleasant.
I think they're 1 game back in the Dodgers. The Dodgers did not think that they were going to have this kind of competition in the NL West.
Maybe from San Diego.
The NL West is. They have competition from everybody. I think they have competition from everybody.
But I'm saying maybe
7.5 back.
I'm saying maybe they anticipated San Diego being close, but not the Giants. Not this far into the year.
Oh,
certainly
okay,
not.
Fair enough. Man, the Rockies, man, 12-53. What the
Well,
hell?
don't worry. The Giants are going to town tomorrow to play the Rockies, and they'll lose 2 out of 3.
Stop
So
it. No, they won't. No, they won't.
Colorado will get right back on track.
Listen,
But
if
I
the
want to talk
Yankees can
about,
win 2 out of 3 from the Rockies, then the Giants can.
Tristan, what I want to talk about, though,
Mm-hmm.
is that Yankees Red Sox series. Because yet again, you mentioned it, the Yankees have struggled to not to win games here and there, but to win a series against a really competitive team. They lost to the Giants, they lose to the Dodgers. Now here they lose to the Red Sox 2-1. I got to see that last game that the Yankees uh, lost 11-7. But I'm curious what your takeaways from this series are.
From this specific series?
Yes. Because this is another competitive team in the American League that hasn't shown what they have yet, and the Yankees lose to 2 games out of 3 to them.
Let me see how I want to put this, because I don't want to be out there with this. The lineup is actually hitting. The lineup is hitting. You've seen Trent Grisham cool off a little bit. And you've seen Cody Bellinger, start to become Cody Bellinger. Aaron Judge is Aaron Judge. He's a god amongst men. 396 after last night. He's bringing it back up closer towards 400. Got great production off of the bench and Austin Wells is starting to finally start to click again. 9 runs, 7 runs, and 7 runs again. That should win you ball games.
It should.
But it's the rotation. It's the rotation right now. You lost Garrett Cole. Kiki Carrasco proved to not be much of anything. And Ryan Yarbrough is your 4 or 5 starter. That's a bullpen arm. And he did not have a great game 2 days ago. What was it, Saturday?
My God.
Four innings
pitched, 8 earned.
9 hits, 8 earned, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. He started out decent in that second game, but at that point they were just like, get us through 4. They were touching him the entire game. And the thing is the Yankees responded in the second inning after they gave up that first run. And what does Ryan Yarbrough do in the third inning? Gives up 5. Not good. It's just not good pitching. And then the very next day, Carlos Rodon. We know you and I have had several talks about Carlos Rodon.
Tough game, but he's had a great year. I'll give it to you.
He's had a great year. No, he's had a great year. Tough game yesterday. He was cruising, and then he wasn't. You start off, I can't remember what inning it was. I was literally watching it, and I cannot remember. Started off with, what's his Hunter Dobbins. Hunter Dobbins, the rookie for the Red Sox, coming out, juicy quote. If it was between the Yankees offering me a contract or retiring, I'd choose retiring. Let's go. The rivalry's back. Get my juices freaking flowing. Come on. Sunday night in the Bronx, 7 p.m., ESPN, getting on. Jazz Chisholm was on Twitter calling this guy out, saying, oh, free smoking 7. He even added our boy Liam Doyle, saying, I'm on my Liam Doyle stuff right now. Yeah, I know you saw that right before they lost to Arkansas in the regionals when he was on in the regionals in Knoxville. That's the type of smoke Jazz Chisholm was looking for with this. And you know what? They came out swinging. Judge 2-run home run. Start the game. Then after that, dormant. They tie it back up in the 5th on a 2-run homer for Christian Campbell, who's starting to finally figure it out. He waited for the Yankees to start figuring it out because he was abysmal at first. He had a negative WAR. I don't know if it's still negative or not, but negative WAR. He went deep for them. Starting to click now a little bit. He had a very, very tough time hitting lefties. But then a bunch of ex-Yankees, and I kid you not, a bunch of ex-Yankees were in this series against the Yankees on the Red Sox. And all they did was shove. Textbook, right? Of course, that's what they're going to do. That's just Yankees, Red Sox. That's the drama. And I can guarantee you this. Everybody in Red Sox land was 100% looking forward to losing this series in embarrassing, one-run loss fashions. That's what this series was going to be. But then, you fast forward to that 6th inning where Carlos Rodon melts down. 3 runs in the 5th on a hit by pitch, a walk, and then an up and in fastball that Narvaez absolute tattoos out to left. And the Red Sox, they don't look back. And then from there, you hand it off to the Yankees bullpen and hope they can keep it close, and they didn't. And that's my thing with the Yankees. You rewind a bunch of years ago. It didn't matter what the lead was. The Yankees were able to come back. I don't have that same faith. I don't know what it is. They've been playing a great brand of baseball up until this weekend. Even during the Dodgers series, which wasn't great. That second game wasn't great. Played a good day. They didn't get swept. So you take that.
I'll
Dodgers.
tell you what I
place
think. I think the problem with the Yankees this year, you nailed it on the head. I mean, look, the bullpen, it's solid. I can't say it's bad, but it's 15th in bullpen ERA with a 3.84 ERA. And if you're a bullpen for a competitive team, I think you got to be a little bit lower than that. And you mentioned how you don't feel that the Yankees can necessarily come back from any lead anymore. And I think that's because the back end of their bullpen hasn't been shut down like it has in years past. And that's why you kind of brought in Devin Williams, right? You bring in this guy from the Brewers, you pull off a trade for a closing pitcher, and you gave up one of your starters. And you could use Nestor Cortez, who you gave up right about now. But Devin Williams is 2-2 with a 6.08 ERA and a 1.39 WHIP. So I mean, you look at this bullpen. Luke Weaver looks good. There's a couple arms in this bullpen that look all right, but 3.84 ERA for this bullpen, just not acceptable. 1.28 WHIP. I mean, if you're going to be a competitive team and you're going to be serious about winning games in September and you're going to be serious about winning games in October, which is always the goal for the New York Yankees, you need to be more serious about getting a bullpen arm at the deadline.
I'm going to push back on that. You could use Nestor right now. What has Nestor done for the Brewers besides lose in embarrassing fashion to the Yankees? He got one win, and that was against the Reds. He's on the 60-day right now.
He's on the 60-day, but I'm saying maybe if he's playing with the Yankees, he's not in a position where he gets injured the exact way he did with the Brewers. Maybe he's still healthy if he's with the Yankees. I don't know.
That's so ticky-tack, though.
But my point is you could use a starting pitcher right now. Could you not?
No, we could, but I don't know if
You could use a starting pitcher right now.
I don't know.
You could use a starting pitcher right now more than you could use Devin Williams. Okay.
I don't know if Ryan Yarbrough. I don't know, but I don't know if Nestor Cortez is better than Ryan Yarbrough.
Well, he's better than Devin Williams. He's better than Devin Williams. That's for sure. Devin Williams looks like shit.
Devin Williams has gotten better.
There's no beat around the bush.
Devin Williams has gotten better, and the only reason that he's back in the closer spot is because Luke Weaver's gone 4 to 6 weeks, which is another whole thing that we can unpack about the Yankees if you really want to. But it's not fair, and all we've done is boast about our team. So let's go around the majors, man. Who's the best team in baseball to you right now? There's a clear answer, but who's the best team in baseball to you right now?
It's not the Dodgers.
No, it's not.
It's not the Dodgers at all. So I hope that's not what you're saying.
Actually, there's two acceptable answers. I think one is significantly better because they just won a series against them. But
look, I think honestly, you could make a case for 3 teams. You can make a case for 3 teams. You can make a case for the Mets. You can make a case, obviously, for the Tigers, and you can make a case for the Chicago Cubs.
Yes.
Don't sleep on the Cubs. They've had a great season, and obviously the Dodgers are still there, but they're 39-27. That would be 3 games back of the Mets for that number 1 seed. But I think I'm going to go with the obvious answer, the Detroit Tigers, and that's because this team has the exact recipe for a World Series championship, and that is great pitching, and I mean fantastic pitching with Tariq Skubal,
not even just great,
and
dominant.
Jackson Jobe, all these guys. And they have timely hitting. It's not the murderer's row lineup where you got Lou Gehrig and those guys what the Yankees had back in the day. It's not your Dodgers lineup with Ohtani, Betts, Freeman, Muncy, Will Smith. It's a lineup that's good enough to support the fact that their pitching is never going to give up more than 3 runs in a game. And the Giants, who are 38-28, went to Detroit and got swept and scored, I think, 3 runs the whole series. So this is a team who has the Giants, not the best offense, but pretty average, and they got shut down, and they didn't even face Tariq Skubal. So you look at this Tigers pitching. It's the best pitching I've seen.
I'm sorry. Who didn't face Tariq Skubal?
The Giants went to Detroit for a 3-game series, did not face Tariq Skubal, and still only scored 3 to 5 runs the whole series, somewhere between there, and got swept. But it's not like the Tigers are putting up 9-10 runs a game. They're putting up 3 or 4 because their pitching gives up 2 or 3. They do exactly what they need to do in the timely fashion to support their fantastic pitching. Tristan, who's your best team in baseball?
It's the Tigers. I mean, I would love to sit here and try and make a case for the Cubs, but it's really hard to do that after a weekend where they just beat the Cubs in best 3 series. 3-1, 6-1, then 4-0. Flaherty and Skubal both shine. in the first and then the last game, respectively. It's really hard to say it's anything but the Tigers right now. And you look at some of their offseason additions. Kerry Carpenter's been really, really good for them. Jackson Jobe, I know he's on the IL right now. Gleyber Torres, I don't know why didn't just give Gleyber a 1 year, man. The Yankees totally should have just given Gleyber a 1 year. I was saying it all offseason. It made
Well, you never know what goes
fucking
into that.
sense.
Maybe he didn't want to come back. Maybe he wanted more.
No, he did. He's actually butthurt that he ever got the contract. He was butthurt, and I don't blame him, not even a little bit. But Torkelson's been fantastic. 15 home runs, I think, on the year. It's really hard to deny this either the Cubs or the Tigers. I think that is a potential World Series matchup. And obviously, you have the Dodgers. Don't get me wrong, I know. But that very well could be a World Series matchup, and I don't think it's ridiculous to say.
I don't think so either, but I'll tell you that you got to make a case for the New York Mets. I mean, you mentioned that the Cubs lose to the Tigers, so obviously they proved who's the better team. And the Tigers are better than the Cubs, but it's not head and shoulders. You got to make a case, though, for the New York Mets, and I'll tell you exactly why. They are blowing teams out every night. They are blowing teams out. 13-5 last night against the Rockies. Obviously, it's the Rockies. But, you stay close with the Dodgers. You lose 2 one-run games, but you win 6-1 the middle game. Pardon me, you split the series 2-2, actually. And you pounce on the White Sox. And then the series before against the Dodgers, you win 2 out of 3. So this is a team that has shown me that they can hang with the competitive teams. They get one from the Yankees. The Yankees win that series, but they get one there. They get 2 out of 3 from the Cubs, right? This is a team that can win those gritty, hard, one-run games against great teams like the Yankees, like the Dodgers. We'll see. They play the Giants in a month. We'll see what they do there. They got an easy schedule coming up. Nationals, Rays, Braves. But then you get the Phillies. I'd like to see what they do against the Phillies. So it'll be interesting to see what the Mets can do, especially, as Juan Soto heats up. That's my big thing for
Juan
the Mets.
Soto is starting to get his swagger back.
Is getting his heat back, and it's only going to go up from here. He's got 11 homers, but I still think he ends the season with at least 30, 32, 33. So once he starts to really feel it and really turn it on, team's only going up.
Sorry, I can't help but snicker, just because of how bad the season was to begin. And you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking about what New York is. Oh God, he relishes about being Yankees, writing ghost articles about being a Yankee. Jimmy, don't care, Jim. God, the maniacs, and we're obsessed. I don't even want to get into it. But yeah, back to the Tigers to close that out. First in the AL Central. Again, I still think that you're going to see 4 teams in the AL Central go to the playoffs. It's very, very possible. So that's why it's even more important for the Yankees, the Mariners, to lock down their divisions. And speaking of the Mariners, let me quickly close on my Tigers point. They have a series with the Orioles starting tomorrow.
And the Orioles look like shit.
That is going to be ugly, dude. That is going to be so fucking ugly, bro. The Orioles are going to get curb stomped. And I don't mean curb stomped as in like 19-6. I mean it's going to be a 6-0 shutout, embarrassing kind of shutout. Like maybe 1 run or like 1 hit, 2 hits away from some like a no-hitter. That's how embarrassing it's going to be. Scooble's going to be in this series. Scooble's already had a complete game earlier this year. That might get ugly. Anyway, I want to get on to the Mariners. I want to go to the AL West.
Well, let me ask you one thing before you move on. Do you have faith that the Mariners lineup can produce more than 3 runs? The Mariners live off of solo home runs. That's all they're
No, but I have faith in their pitching, keeping it a 1-2 run game.
Yeah. I agree, but do you think you said it's going to be 6-0? You think the Mariners offense can really score 6 runs, hitting 239?
No, I'm sorry. I'm talking about the Cubs. I'm talking about the Cubs against the Orioles.
You said the Mariners.
No, I'm sorry. I was saying I want to get on to the Mariners, but let me close out my Cubs point.
Gotcha.
Yeah. No, that was me closing out my Cubs point. Sorry, not my Cubs. My Tigers. Oh, goodness. I'm all over the place. First day
all
back,
over the place. Come on,
First
dude.
day back. First day back. Dude. Give me some slack. Yeah, I think the Tigers, we over the Orioles, you might see some like 6-0, 5-1. kind of type games, and they're going to be like embarrassing, like shutouts. And then the one run's going to come because of a fluke fly ball that gets out. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be embarrassing for the Orioles, which I don't know what they're going to do to figure it out. They have all the talent in the world. They have no pitching, but that lineup should be hitting, and it's just not. I don't know. But let's move on to the Mariners. And it's crazy that the Mariners are generating this kind of talk in second place, 2.5 games. The Astros, to me, do not have all the buzz in the world, and they are leading that division. It's more of a, the Mariners will take it. You just got to wait. We're waiting for it to happen. It's going to happen. The Mariners are going to take it. Cal Raleigh's on a tear. Their pitching's insane. Cal Raleigh's leading the league. Big Dumper is leading the league in home runs right now.
You wonder how he got stuck with that nickname and if he loves it or not. Because I don't think if I were him, I'd be too.
I think no, dude, no, not even that. I think he secretly fucking loves it. Not even just loves it. I think he fucking loves it.
Well, I'll tell you, Tristan. I mean, you look at the AL West; it's a competitive division. The Oakland A's were hanging around for some time. I mean, they've dropped off quite a bit now, 26-41 and 11 games back. The Angels were hanging around for some time. They're still hovering around 500.
Still 5.5.
I think you need to keep an eye on the Texas Rangers. I mean, look, this offense has to break through at some point. I'm with you. As of right now, you get swept by the Rays. You lose 2 out of 3 to the Cardinals. You lose, But look, the Texas Rangers at some point need to break through. They have to. I mean, Marcus Semien, I don't think he's as bad of a player as his line suggests. I think Corey Seager is not going to end the season with, 12 homers. Okay, the guy's gonna go on a tear. The Rangers just need someone to get hot to get that dugout fired up because right now they're just dead in the dugout. There's no energy. I've watched a couple of their games, and I feel for Bruce Bochy because there's only so much he can do on the lineup card if his players aren't getting fired up. But I think this is a team to keep an eye on.
Jose Ramirez ties the game up for the Guardians. Up in Cleveland, we got a 2-2 game. Reds Guardians in the bottom of the third with 1 out. Should be a good game. The Guardians are always, I don't know why, everybody considers them like a sleep team. Like, it's like, oh yeah, the Guardians will probably be there. Yeah, of course. The Guardians are going to threaten you. I think they're going to threaten this Tigers team. That lineup is significantly better than I think the Detroit lineup. It's just whether they can hit the good pitching that Detroit has to offer. But let's go back to the AL West. Do you think, like I was saying, how everybody's kind of undermined the Astros, even though they have had a decent year, 36-29, made some, some decent moves in the offseason. Do you think everybody's right to kind of, I wouldn't say completely overlook the Astros, but think that this is still the Mariners division to lose?
I think it is the Mariners division to lose, and I'll tell you why. Because this Astros lineup is incredibly top heavy. I mean, you look at the bottom 3 of this lineup the last couple of days: Jacob Milton, Mauricio Dubon, and Shea Whitcomb. And shocker, they go 0 for 10. I mean, this is not a lineup that's built to win a lot of games. And sure, I mean, you got Altuve and you got Yordan Alvarez, but let's face it.
Yordan's been hurt.
Yeah, but I'm saying down the stretch, you will have those guys.
Okay.
But let's face it. Are those guys, is the clock turning back on those guys? No. They're not getting any younger. Altuve's hitting 261. Finally starting to show some sort of regression. 295 last year, 311 the year before.
I can't stand that guy either.
But Altuve, the power's gone. If there ever was much power, which there was for a few years, it's gone. I mean, he can't drive in many runs anymore. Only 24 runs batted in 62 games this year. The Astros, I don't know. I think they're a good team. I watched them in the early part of the season, which is pretty biased for the Astros because they always get off to a slow start. But I'm not super impressed. I think Cam Smith is a solid player. I think they got some young guys that are okay, but not enough to win them games right now.
It's crazy how many righties they have in their lineup and they still hit. I don't get it. They have so many righties. They just took a series against Cleveland this weekend. So, and then they got the White Sox coming up. So the Astros totally could just keep winning. But I think, you look at the rest of their schedule, the Mariners are going to get them soon.
But let's face it, too, Tristan. I mean, Christian Walker hasn't panned out to be what they would have thought. He's hitting 207.
No, and thank God, because I was sitting there practically begging for him to be a Yankee. Thank God nobody listens to me. This further proves why I should not be a GM of any fucking team.
Well, we knew that.
Further proves that I should not be. Hell, I don't even know if I deserve to be up here talking ball sometimes. But Paul Goldschmidt's been great. Paul, I'm so happy with Paul Goldschmidt's been able to do. And I was sitting here saying, hell no, because of his age. I want Christian Walker because he's younger. Batting 207. What do I know? All right. I hate to do this to you, but it's something that needs to be discussed because of how much I've seen it in baseball media. And again, please don't hate me. It kind of pains
We'll
me
reserve judgment for when I hear what bullshit is about to come out of your mouth.
Does Livy Dunn's boyfriend need to be traded? Is he being disrespected?
Look, it's hard.
Only one win, and he's got like a what 1.1 something ERA.
No, he's 4-6.
He's only got one win in his last I don't know how many games.
Sorry, I thought you meant on the season.
6 or 7. No, not in the season. I think it's like 6 or 7.
Look, I mean, he's 4-6. He's 4-6 with a 1.88 ERA.
How many starts though?
No. I'm not saying. I'm proving your point.
Oh, okay.
He's 4-6 with a 1.88 ERA and a 0.84 WHIP, and he's 4-6. Okay.
The fact that he's got a losing record
is disgraceful. It is absolutely disgraceful.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think he got his second win. That's right. He got his second win yesterday against the Phillies. They won 2-1.
And guess how many runs his offense scored?
A fucking miracle that they scored more than one run for him, man.
He actually did not get the win. He did not get the win yesterday.
Oh, was it a split decision? It wasn't a split decision going in? I thought he got the win. He didn't get the win.
He went 7 2/3, and then he was taken over for. And then the eighth inning, the Pirates scored the winning run. So
that's so crazy to me that a guy can go 7.2 and not earn a win, man. 3 Paul Skeens.
To answer your question, I mean, look, it happens to everyone. Logan Webb goes 8 innings shutout against who was it? It was the Padres last week, and he gets no decision. I mean, that is just such a hard way to go through life if you're a pitcher. And it makes the free agents that are coming in this next class think, who wants to pitch for a team like the Pirates? Who wants to come throw 2, sub 3 ERA and be 3-8 at the trade deadline? And the problem is, for Paul Skeens, no, I don't think a trade is the answer right now. And I'll tell you why. Because look, if you're drafted to a bad team, there's a certain point where you deal with it for a couple of years. And you wait for the front office to make moves around you. But I saw a report the other day from the Pirates that said, look, we're not interested in trading Paul Skeens, and we're not interested in trading O'Neal Cruz. And I'm sitting here thinking, who the hell wants to trade for anyone else? Seriously, who the hell wants to trade for anyone else on that team?
Brian Reynolds was a very huge trade discussion about 2-3 years ago when he was doing well,
and he's hitting 235. I mean,
look at his stats now.
The
only thing that's good about Brian Reynolds is that he's a switch hitter.
I said that this team would win the division because I thought they had great pitching, even aside from Paul Skeens. I think the pitching is not the problem. I think the pitching's solid.
The pitching's great.
And I was very wrong because I always say the recipe to win games, great pitching, timely hitting, and their hitting isn't even timely. It's completely non-existent. I mean, here's this lineup for them today, Tristan. Here's their 4 through 8. They're 4 through 9. Okay. Spencer Horwitz, Nick Gonzalez, Adam Frazier, Ke'Bryan Hayes, Brett Sullivan, and Jared Triolo. That's your 4 through 9. I mean, where's the heart of the order? There is none. What do you think? You think it's a trade time?
I'm looking at all of these arms that they got. It is crazy that they have had a great year from Andrew Heaney. Andrew Heaney was a fucking bum when he was in pinstripes a couple years ago, okay? And he is pitched to a tune of a 3.24 ERA. You know how many teams could use a 3.24 ERA on their team? And a lefty at that? He's 3-4, sure. 72 innings pitched.
But he's a lefty, so he becomes twice as valuable.
You know how many teams could use a 3.41 ERA from the left side on their team right now? You know how many teams could use a 1.8 on their team right now?
I'll tell you how many teams.
Before like a month ago, Paul Skeens wasn't even the best pitcher on that team. It was Mitch Keller.
Look, Tristan.
And Mitch Keller's now at a 4.13 with 1-8. And he's 1-8.
I'll tell you how many
teams. A team
can
figure that out for him.
I'll tell you how many teams can use a 3.24 ERA arm from the left side. 30 of them. I mean, every single team can use a guy like that, especially when you're a lefty. You become instantaneously more valuable. And the problem with this lineup is there's no one here that you're afraid of. There's no one here that you're afraid to pitch to. Your two hitter is Andrew McCutchen, and he's a solid player, but you're dragging him along to get butts in the seats because this guy's been here forever. So I don't know what's the solution. You asked me what the solution is for the Braves. I'm asking you what's the solution for the Pirates. Is it trading Paul Skeens?
Not Paul Skeens, but blow up some of your pitching, yes. I don't know if you can trade Paul Skeens yet, because if you trade Paul Skeens, no one is going to the games.
No one goes anyway.
And newsflash, Pirates fans, whoever the hell is listening, if you are, anybody in the Pirates organization, they already want you to sell. And you've got the best pitcher in baseball on your team. And they want you to sell. That's an issue! Wake up! That's an issue. You're not getting butts in seats with one of the best rotations. I don't know if trading Paul Skeens is the solution, because who's to say that the haul of prospects that they're going to get back is going to pan out. This guy is in year, what, 2?
2.
You know what he's going to get in 4 years?
$500 million.
He's going to get $500 million from somebody if he stays healthy. God willing.
Look,
he's
I'll
electric.
tell you what. Here's the problem. The Pirates can't give away tickets right now, and they have one of the most beautiful, pristine gems of a ballpark in the nation. That ballpark is beautiful. And you still cannot sell tickets. I mean, I'll believe it when I see it, but a lot of people say it's even better than AT&T Park, Oracle Park now in San Francisco, and that's a beautiful park. But even when the Giants were in their down years, people would still come to the games because the fans knew that winning was still a part of the San Francisco culture. In Pittsburgh, it hasn't been part of the culture since Honus Wagner.
It's bad. It's really bad. It's not as bad as the Rockies bad. No one's going to get that bad.
If that's your biggest consolation, you got serious problems. You got serious problems. If that's what you got to say to make yourself feel better, you got serious freaking problems. I'll tell you that right now. You got real big problems if your consolation is, hey, we're not 12-53. Look at us. We're doing great. Unbelievable.
Oh, man. Where do you want to go next? We got a bunch more time. We could
go. I do.
Let's go back to the Red Sox. You want to go back to the Red Sox really quick?
Yes, but before we go there, I do want to tell the listeners about Clo & Co. Unfiltered.
Yes.
It is an investigative Gen Z podcast, and if you're Gen Z or any generation for that matter, Millennial, Gen X, or the Great Generation, or the Baby Boomers, of course, please go ahead and listen to that podcast. It'll be great. I know Chloe's got some really, really cool things planned for that. And RG, Jason, and the rest of the Makash team is going to be sending out content on our Instagram about that. Yeah. So be sure you tune into that podcast because I got to listen to episode 1, and it was really, really cool.
Phenomenal. I actually didn't know what to expect going into it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's only 30 minutes long. I was listening to it while I was cooking a roast yesterday. I'm at home now. I now have to be the one to cook. Phenomenal. Really good.
It was fantastic, Chloe.
Go check it out on
great job.
Makash YouTube.
Absolutely. Go ahead and check it out.
Only 30 minutes, and that's what I sometimes relish the people that can get in all their thoughts in 30 minutes.
I can't do that.
We're already at 43 minutes.
And you and me together certainly couldn't do it.
No. She's terrific. She's terrific what she's doing. Where do you want to go? Let's go. You want to go back to the Red Sox?
I'd love to, because I got a lot to talk about in terms of the Red Sox and why they're underperforming.
Well, before they went into that Yankees series, they were desperately calling. I mean, you saw people like the tribal chief in. Excuse me, that was so disgusting. God, what's his fucking name? Tribal chief on Twitter. The Red Sox super fan. Why can I? Jared Carrabis. How dare I forget the Rockets' name? Saying every day that Roman Anthony is not in this organization, you're throwing the games away. And with the whole drama with, I play third base. I came here to play third base. I'm not going to move anywhere. I'm a multimillionaire, but I'm not in Rafael Devers. There was really no spot to put Roman Anthony. Well, I don't know what they did. I don't know what they told him, you're going to play anywhere and everywhere. He's here. 20-year-old is batting 5th, and he's in right field for the Red Sox as they begin a series against the Rays this weekend. And this was a team that I thought had a really good chance to not only win the AL East, but possibly run away with it. I think the Yankees are doing fantastic lineup-wise, and when they get some of their pitching back, they already got Clark Schmidt back. They're going to get Luis Hill back, God willing, soon. Giancarlo Stanton has some decent updates coming back. The time is now for this Red Sox team to win. You went all in. You went and got Garrett Crochet. You went and got Trevor Story a couple years ago. You went and got Alex Bregman, who's hurt right now, but when he comes back, he's going to be the best player, your best hitter on your team. So the time to win is now. He's finally seen Rafael Devers start to click. He did it again to the Yankees. He's a Yankee killer. He's finally starting to click, and now you've got your number one overall prospect, who they have been begging for the last 2-3 weeks to come up. Finally is here. Time is now for the Red Sox. And unlike the Braves, they're not in that big of a hole where I can pronounce them dead. Nowhere close to it, actually. So
Look,
I'm very excited to see what they're going to do. They do have somewhat of a hole to climb out of with the Yankees. I think they're 5.5 back, if I'm not mistaken. But I mean, that's nothing major. 8.5, excuse me. 8.5, and they're in fourth. That's not sizable, because with the Yankees, their pitching is an injury away from sucking again.
I'm with you, and that's why I think that I've been so impressed by Aaron Boone the last couple of years. I think I've been the last year rather. I've been a big critic of his the last couple of years.
Terrible fucking moment against the Red Sox earlier in the series.
But he has been fantastic this year in lineup construction. He's putting the right guys in the right spots to succeed. I've seen Goldschmidt hit leadoff a couple times. Can't think of a better spot for Paul Goldschmidt. But look, in terms of the Red Sox, it's not about the talent, because you have Devers, you have Bregman, you have Jarren Duran, you have Wilyer Abreu, who's been great, 13 homers. Who would have thought? 321 on base average. It's the chemistry. I mean, it doesn't help that Trevor Story has gone back to doing Boston Red Sox Trevor Story things, but the chemistry.
He looked good against. He looked good. He looked decent against the Yankees.
Well, he started off great this year. He did, but he's hitting back to 226, which is where he's been for the last 6 years. And the problem with the Red Sox that I see is the chemistry. I mean, even from what I've watched, and I've watched probably 15 Red Sox games all season, so not that much, but I've seen a decent amount.
Mm-hmm.
Ever since, and we talked about it on one of I think it was the second episode we ever had, when Rafael Devers said, I play third base. I ain't playing first. I ain't playing second. I'm not DH, and I'm playing third base. When they traded for Alex Bregman. Signed Alex Bregman, pardon me. I knew that was going to cause a rift, but I think that it wouldn't be a big deal because these guys are professionals. But now, the more you realize it, that's the least professional thing the guy could have freaking said. Okay? That is the least professional approach. He is telling the press and his teammates with that quote, I am putting myself and what I am comfortable with before anything else, before what you are comfortable with, and before what this team needs to win a World Series. Okay? Because maybe, just maybe, Alex Bregman might be a better fielder at third base than you are, Rafael Devers. And in fact, he definitely is. So, dude, you should have moved.
He complained about being a DH in a DH heavy. Do you know how great the DH is now today because of it going to the NL, and how awesome it has been to see Shohei, Giancarlo, you name a DH. It's
Ozuna.
Great. They are fantastic hitters, and all you have to worry about is hitting. The fact that he had the reaction he had to being a DH, I'd cut him.
Dude, you got the best job in the freaking world being a DH.
This guy, he's a loser. He's a loser. I won't lie to you. Even Red Sox fans say he's a loser. He tortures my team, so that's another reason I think he's a loser. But he's a loser. But moving on. The Red Sox have called up 3 or 4 of their top prospects, which is something that we highlighted in, again, that second episode. I think the name of that episode when we were still with RSS was called Prospect Previews. 3 of those guys have been called up from the Red Sox. Roman Anthony, Marcelo Meyer, and Christian Campbell. And I already mentioned Christian Campbell. Marcelo Meyer, maybe not the biggest name since he's come up, but respectable. Respectable. They need him to be up so they can develop. He can develop at the major league level. Batting 222 right now, 300 OBP, 361. He's a rookie. Hopefully he figures it out.
I mean,
The
he will
300
figure it
OBP
out, and
kinda
you got,
sucks,
and the
but
thing is you got to give him the time to figure it out because it's going to take a while. Anyone, usually
he
these
was
guys
drafted
when
in
they get called up,
2021, man.
they come up and they swing hot for a couple weeks, and then the pitchers find a hole in their swing. The league finds a hole in
That's
their
gonna
swing,
happen. That happened to
and it
Jason
happens.
Dominguez.
It happens. It happens with everyone. It happened with Elliot Ramos. It happened with Jung Hoo Lee. It happens with any big prospect. You name them. I mean, look, even you look back at old tape from Machado and Harper. There were holes in their swing, major holes in their swing. And you know what? It's taken them years to fix it, but now they're some of the premier guys in the league. So I'm not worried about Christian Campbell at all.
Alrighty. I want to do something. We don't have to necessarily do it yet because we're not near there. That'd be a really good idea for another episode is if we drafted our all-star team since the all-star break is coming up. That'd be a really cool thing. We'll get that situated because I'm not prepared to do that. I still need to see some things. But I'll tell you what we can do right now. Who is your guarantee? Pick 5 guys from the NL guaranteed all-star ballot.
Ooh, can it be any? It can be pitchers, and position players.
Any position. Who are your 5 that are like, if this guy's not in the All-Star game, and don't make him like, oh, Shohei Ohtani. Don't give me somebody that is
I got you.
going to
I
be
got
in the
you.
All-Star game. Give me somebody that some people would be like, he should totally be, but not enough people are talking about. Not borderline. But
one easy Hunter Green, no doubt about it. This guy is not only an all-star contender, Tristan, he's a freaking Cy Young contender. And if he was on a team that could score runs more frequently, he's 4-3 right now with a 2.72 and a .97 whip. The guy should be 7-0. He's pitched absolutely fantastic. Now, the second one I'll say, I could say Logan Webb. I could, and I think that's a little more obvious. But balloons, what the hell was that?
How did you do that?
What the hell was that? Did you see that? I put my 2 fingers up, and these freaking balloons start flying out of nowhere. It ain't my birthday. It's not for another 7 weeks. Come on, Makash. I'm only kidding. Anyway,
It's hilarious.
RG, get rid of those balloons. We don't want the balloons in here.
Get those.
No balloons. No balloons, RG. RG's our producer. We love RG. RG, thanks for being here. But no,
right,
I mean, look, Hunter Green for sure. I think RG put those balloons on there for him. I think he's messing with me.
No, I think it's an Apple thing.
I'm only kidding.
It's an Apple thing. Hold on, let me see if I can do it.
No balloons for this guy. They don't want to give him balloons. Anyway, look, Hunter Green has been absolutely fantastic, and I could say Logan Webb, but I think that's a little more obvious. I'm going to go with Robbie Ray. The guy's been absolutely lights out, fantastic for the Giants.
I haven't heard in a while.
He was the NL pitcher of the month. He's 8-1 with a 2.44 ERA and a 1.07 whip. And so he's from Brentwood, Tennessee, so that doesn't hurt either. That's right around where I live now. But Robbie Ray, look, I mean, this guy's been absolutely dominant. The only primary left-handed pitcher for the Giants in the rotation. Cal Harrison's gotten some starts, but Robbie Ray's the only one that's been, not a replacement for someone else. So I'll go Hunter Green, Robbie Ray for my pitchers, and then I'll go 3 position players. This is tough. This is where it gets really, really tough. And I think that obviously you have a lot of great catchers in the game of baseball, but I think Will Smith is an easy all-star. He's hitting well above 300. He's been absolutely phenomenal for the Dodgers. Got to see him play yesterday in St. Louis. He looked great. Just a game leader, a gamer, game manager for these pitchers. Makes their pitchers' jobs easier, which is great for the Dodgers right now because they're pitching so banged up. But those are my first 3. Tristan, I want to hear your first 3, and then we'll move on to our back 2.
Okay. I'm not going to designate pitcher or anything. I'm just going to go. And here's a very interesting debate for who should be at shortstop in the AL. So instead of giving you my first 3, I'm going to give you 3 guys that could totally be.
Oh, you're going AL? I'm going
AL
NL?
shortstop. Yeah, I'm going AL.
Perfect.
You go NL.
Love it.
Yeah. I am torn between Bobby Witt, Jeremy Pena, and Jacob Wilson.
Ooh, tough.
Here's some stats. Witt is batting .291 with a 349 to 492, 8 home runs, a 135 OPS plus, and a 3.5 FWAR.
Wow.
Pena,
316,
373, 480, so not as necessarily a great as a slug. 9 home runs, 139 OPS plus with a 3.2 F4. And Jacob Wilson is batting 372, 408, 528 with 8 home runs, a 163 OPS, and a 3.3 F4.
Tristan, let me ask you this:
That's a debate.
Have you seen Jacob Wilson take an AB? I mean,
Oh,
the guy's he's moving
giddy.
around. He's
giddy.
He's so
Yeah.
into it. And I love watching him play because Oakland needs a guy at the top of the line. Because
they need anything, man.
Because you have solid power bats behind him. You got Soderstrom, you got Brent Rooker. It's not a lot, but you got Nick Kurtz is coming up. He's going to look pretty good, I think, the rookie first baseman. So, I mean, you got a couple of guys that look pretty good. But Jacob Wilson at the top of that lineup, and he doesn't walk a lot, but he doesn't strike out either.
No, he doesn't.
He's a singles machine. He's a singles machine.
I honestly think I'm leading. It's crazy to say this. Bobby Witt is probably going to be your starting AL shortstop. He probably is. I wouldn't mind seeing Jacob Wilson get it, though. The A's need something, like you just said. They need anything. And a 372 as young as he is, insane to me. And I know average doesn't matter in today's game, which is a scam and a sham in itself. But I wouldn't be shocked. I think Skubal is going to be your obvious starter. Let me get to some of the people that need to be considered. Here we go. Here are my 3. I'll go Jacob Wilson as my 1. Paul Goldschmidt is my first baseman. Not Vladdy. No instant no reaction?
I'm not surprised. Okay? I'm not surprised by the bias. I'm not.
There's no bias. Look at his stats.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go.
He was the heart and soul for that. Not the soul. He was the heart for that Yankees lineup for the longest time. You mentioned Aaron Boone earlier. I'm going to use your own words against you. Aaron Boone was able to stick him anywhere in that lineup, and he was producing. Leading off against the lefty, you got it. We got a righty today. I'll clean up for you because Giancarlo Stanton's not here. Need me in the 6 hole? Done deal. Vladdy ain't doing that and still putting up the same numbers. I'm using your own argument against you.
All right, I got you. Next pick.
Here's my third. Gleyber Torres is going to be your second baseman from the Detroit Tigers. And I don't think that was that ridiculous to say.
I don't think so either. I think it's been fantastic.
I cannot get over the fact that this guy was not re-signed on a 1-year, cheap deal for the New York Yankees. Batting 269 right now with 5 home runs. The average has dipped down a little bit, but his OPS is 775. That's tied 69th in the league.
Wow.
Right now.
Pretty good, especially for a guy that, you wouldn't think would be that high. Sure, he's a good player, but he's not that good. At least he didn't think.
He was called, not a platoon, but he was a starter for the Yankees, but he was more of an impact guy. He was not a star, and he started leading off for that team. He struggled mightily last year. He started leading off for that Yankees team going into the playoffs, and he couldn't stop hitting. And that to me alone, going into the year, we were like, listen, we've dealt with Gleyber's, defensive struggles. His bat's not consistent enough. He was batting like 239. And then all of a sudden he's batting like 280, 290 towards the end of the year. And I'm like, listen, guys, there might be something there. He might have tapped into it. He's shortening his swing. He's realizing he's not 2019 Gleyber anymore, who was hitting 30 home runs and torching the Orioles. He's able to take the pitch and go wherever he is. Outer half of the zone, he's taking it to right. Inner half, shortening the swing, getting in on the pitcher. He was great towards the end. And to me, that was enough to give the guy a 1-year deal. See if it translates to next year, which for the Tigers, it has. Maybe it's the beard, man. It's the beard. Oh, the Yankees have beards now. Stop.
All right, so those are your first 3? Those are your first 3?
Those are my first 3.
All righty. Look, I think there's a lot of good options in the NL, but I think you cannot rule out, and it might sound ridiculous, but Nico Hoerner. I mean, look, this guy's hitting 286, 13 stolen bases, 28 runs batted in, a 2.3 WAR, and leads all players in the National League with a 1.3 defensive WAR. And I think that you got to consider the defense nowadays. But I mean, look, the last one I'll go with because we are wrapping up pretty soon here. For me, it's got to be. I think there's no better answer than Ketel Marte. I mean, the guy is an absolute beast. I think he has to be the second baseman there for that American League All-Star team. He said 294 with 12 home runs, only 21 RBIs, but he really is kind of turning into a 5-tool player. I think Ketel Marte is absolutely fantastic. Tristan, let's hear your last two as we wrap it up.
Let's go. Maikel Garcia, I think he'll be a reserve from the Kansas City Royals. And we'll go Isaac Paredes.
Love it.
From the Houston Astros. I think that rounds out your starting, not your starters, but those are your five that should definitely be seen there. Guys, first episode's done. It's out of the way. We've done it. We're here. We're back. Jack, it was great talking to you again. Make sure you guys all check out Everything Makash. Happiness Sold Separately. That's a mental health podcast. It's entertaining. They bring celebrity guests on all the time to talk about how they manage their stress, personal experiences. It's all about your mental health.
It's fantastic.
Keeping a clean headspace and all of that. I personally, something that I struggle with for a long time. So go ahead and give it a listen. And the future of storytelling, and you control what happens next. It's not just another YouTube series. This is the first of its kind. It's an immersive AI-powered storytelling experience where you decide how the story unfolds in each and every episode. The story does not move without you. Go check out Everything Makash. Check out me and Jack. Check out 88 Keys Management. Give us all a follow. And we will see you back here soon for the Hitting Cage. And it's been fun. You have anything else to say, Jack, before we wrap up?
I do. I just want to say thank you all for tuning into this first episode of the Hitting Cage podcast, where we're loved by all, we're listened to by a few, and are sponsored by absolutely none. Tristan, take it away.
It would not be the Hitting Cage podcast without what you just said. Guys, if there was one thing that I ever want you to take away from this show, is that I need you, and I cannot stress this enough, to stay funky, stay fresh, and we will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.